Special thanks to Fetch Rewards for sponsoring today's Chicago Bears Now Mailbag. We'll get to those questions in a moment. Download Fetch today at chatsports.com/fetch. It allows you to earn points when you scan your receipts from any restaurant or store. Once you get enough points, you can get to turn those points into gift cards. Download the app today at chatsports.com/fetch. Jonathan's Super Chat is going to kick off today's mailbag. How realistic would it be for the Bears to sign Cam Robinson, Alex Kappa, Brian Allen, JuJu Smith-Schuster, and Christian Kirk? Would it cost too much? You know, with their current cap space of about $30 million, probably. But if you cut Eddie Goldman, if you cut Tariq Cohen, if you want to, a couple other guys, maybe you trade a player, then it's possible. Those are all names I definitely like. You know, especially the offensive line one. So, yeah, I think it could happen. Would I predict all these guys to end up in Chicago? Probably not. Let's go to Khalil Smith. Can Malik Jackson help the defensive front and force pressure to the quarterback? Sure, yeah, he's a good interior pressure. Obviously, defensive tackle is a position to watch for this offseason. I don't think the Bears have a ton of depth there, especially as they shift to this 4-3. So, yeah, I think it's certainly a possibility. Alan Mack, #Bears, what other college team would you take for Fields? College teammate. Okay, I see what you're saying. Jeremy Rucker at the tight end, Nicholas Petit-Frere, or Thayer Munford. I like Rucker as like a day 3 tight end, 4th or 5th round. I think that'd be interesting. There's a lot of depth tight ends in this draft. Not a lot of 1st, 2nd round guys, but like 3rd through 5th round has a ton of them. I wouldn't be completely opposed to taking one, depending on where the rest of the roster sits. So, yeah, I mean, I think he's a name to potentially keep in mind. Obviously, Garrett Wilson, but that would only be if the Bears ended up getting a 1st-round pick. Don Burr, Detroit versus everybody. We better than Chicago. Well, you know, thanks for the $2, Donnie. That's all I got to say. You guys want to drought out Don Burr. If he's sending in super chats, got to put him up. So, hey, maybe if you guys want to send in some supers. Benny Bowles, could the Bears target Allen Lazard or Marquez Valdes-Scantling, as both are free agents with the Packers? So, obviously, both these guys would have connections to Luke Getsy, as he was a coach on that staff for the last couple of years. You compare these two guys in Green Bay. 40 catches for Allen Lazard, over 500 yards. Valdes-Scantling, only 26 catches, but always been a big play receiver at over 16 yards a catch. Lazard actually had 8 touchdowns this year, and he's a good run blocker. Some consider him the best blocking receiver in the NFL, so I would definitely be open to that possibility for Allen Lazard in Chicago. It's like a cheapish number 3 receiver. I think you could certainly do worse. Now pick one. Type AL for Allen Lazard, type MVS for Marquez Valdes-Scantling. Now, Valdes-Scantling kind of fits the role of like deep threat, explosive, you know, things that Poles and Eberflus talked about. But Lazard's probably a little more reliable. Get your votes in AL or MVS. Micah Crowder, do you believe in Teven Jenkins, Dazz, Newsome, and Thomas Graham? How far do you think they'll go? I think all have potential, and I think all have question marks. What are the question marks with Teven Jenkins? One, he hasn't played a ton yet. We don't know if he's a left or right tackle, and he's got some injury concerns with the back. Dazz Newsome, inactive most of the year, got to play some late in the season. I think he's ready right away to be your punt returner if you want him to. Can he be a reliable receiver? Need to see more. Thomas Graham, I'd probably put him below Jenkins but higher than Newsome. I like what I saw, but I need to see more reps. I think he's got starting caliber corner in him, whether it's at nickel or as a CB2. Lucas Prang with the super chat. Let's assume the Bears nail this offseason and they hit on 3 or 4 draft picks. Is this a dark horse playoff team? I think it's possible. I've told you guys, I think the Bears could make the playoffs next year. It's obviously easier if Aaron Rodgers is out of the NFC North, but even if he's still there, I wouldn't pick this team to win the division, but I think this team could win 9 games. The schedule's easier. I think Justin Fields will play better this year. I think the coaching staff as a whole is just going to be better. And this team won 6 games last year, and they easily could have won 8. They blew the Steelers and the Ravens games. Those games were in the bag, and they blew them. So, yeah, imagine had they won 8 games last year. I think we all think there's a good chance they're going to be better this year, and the schedule is easier. So I think it's definitely possible to win 9, maybe 10 games. You never know. Aymen Elias, if Derek Stingley falls past 17 or 18, Poles needs to trade whatever picks we have to go get him. We need depth, but Stingley is the best player in the draft, and he's falling in drafts. I've seen him dip. I wouldn't call him the best player in this draft, only because he hasn't played that much the past 2 years. So I think that's at least a minor concern for teams. I wouldn't be opposed, but man, to trade up from 39 to like 20 to go get him, that's going to cost you a lot. Like, I think the only way the Bears are picking in the top 20 is if they've traded Khalil Mack. That's probably the only way that there's even a chance of that happening. So I would not expect this, but would I take Derek Stingley opposite of Jalen Johnson? You bet your ass I would. Something I've already downloaded and use every single day is the Fetch Rewards app. Remember, the app that allows you to earn points by scanning your receipts. The cool thing about this app as well is it accepts your digital receipts. You can key in your email address. You can also sync up your Amazon account as well. It scans those receipts because, come on, it's 2022. We all do online shopping, and a lot of restaurants nowadays, to limit how much paper they're printing out, you can just take digital receipts. It syncs up with your email. You sync that stuff into your account with Fetch, chatsports.com/Fetch. It'll scan those receipts. You earn points for those receipts, just like you would for a physical receipt. Chatsports.com/Fetch. Then, once you get enough points, you can go ahead and get those gift cards from restaurant stores like Walmart, Amazon, Target, etc. Go check them out, chatsports.com/Fetch. Use our promo code BEARS to get 3,000 bonus points with the Fetch Rewards app. Sean the Savage, Andre Dillard, anyone? He might be a player we talk about sometime soon. I've seen this possibility thrown out there that Andre Dillard could be a trade target for Chicago. I just think when you only have 5 draft picks, you're going to be very careful on trades you make to trade away picks. Now, would I trade a 5th-round pick for Andre Dillard? Yeah, I probably would, because he started in this league. But I'm not trading my 2nd, and I'm not trading my 3rd, I don't think, because you don't have a 1st or a 4th. So, look, if Philadelphia wants a 5th-round pick for Dillard, sure, let's do it. But I'm not trading a day 2 pick for him since you don't have that many picks. Alan Melendez, best center to sign in free agency. Ryan Jensen's out there. Brian Allen's out there. Those are 2 names to really monitor. There's a couple other guys out there. I'm drawing a blank right now, but those are 2 guys I'm interested in. Allen, I think I'm more interested in because he's probably going to be cheaper. But, yeah, those are a couple of names. Peyton Agans, apparently Davante Adams had dinner with Eberflus last night. Word is, as I'm filming this live on Tuesday, I have not seen this. So if someone saw a tweet about this, put it in the live chat and let me know. I have not seen this, though. I'm pretty sure that would be tampering by Matt Eberflus, by the way. I'd have to double check on that, but I have not seen this. But I've been live for a little while, so it's possible I missed it. YodaStyle, free agency core next year: Mooney, Kirk, Russell, Gage, Braxton, Berrios, great stats on a bad team. Gallup, Garrett Wilson. I think you're talking about free agent wide receiver core next year. Well, Mooney's under contract for 2 more years. Russell Gage is an intriguing player on that list. Obviously, Michael Gallup's good. Garrett Wilson's good. I don't think they're going to be able to draft high enough to get him. But, yeah, Christian Kirk's the other guy you mentioned there. Berrios, I don't know. The Jets stink. It's hard to know if he's any good or not. So, yeah, those are some general thoughts on those names. I love Garrett Wilson, but I think he's going to go top 15, top 20 in this draft. Pick one for me. What do you like more? Type P for pizza, D for hot dogs. Come on, we all know what Chicago is all about. Pizza, hot dogs, that street food. It's fantastic. Which do you prefer? P for pizza or D for hot dogs? Michael Ortman, which Kansas City and Indianapolis free agents may be targeted? So obviously, what's the connection there? Indianapolis, Matt Eberflus. Ryan Poles, Kansas City. Thinking about some Chiefs guys, Tyrann Mathieu, could you get him at a reasonable contract to play next to Eddie Jackson? I'd be intrigued with that. Before you ask about Orlando Brown, it's not going to happen. The Chiefs are going to tag him. He will not be free. So that's not a name for Kansas City. Indianapolis, I'd have to look closer at some of their free agents. This might be a video. I think this is a good video idea. Chiefs in Indianapolis free agents that the Bears could sign. How about this, actually? How about Anthony Hitchens, who got cut from the Chiefs on Tuesday? He could be your second line or your middle linebacker if you play Roquan Smith at will. I think that's possible. I wouldn't mind a 1 or 2 year deal for Hitch. I think he's better than Danny Trevathan. Scott Osborne, should the Bears fix their O-line in free agency? We already have young offensive line players to develop. Justin Fields needs to develop. O-line has to be better now. Yeah, I mean, look, I think they're going to sign at least one offensive lineman, if not two. Because just think about the O-line, okay, from left to right. Let's just say Jenkins at left tackle, Borum at right. Jenkins, we don't know if he's a left or right tackle. Borum, we don't know if he's a starter, how this regime views him. Sam Mustafer at center, I don't think he's back. Cody Whitehair at left guard. Maybe he slides to center, maybe he starts at left guard. I don't know. He wasn't that good last year. Right guard, James Daniels, free agent. I think a team's going to overpay. So, yeah, you're going to have to sign a player or two. And, yes, I agree. The O-line has to be better now. So, I would probably sign 2 offensive linemen. Jenkins for sure starts. Hopefully they feel good enough about Borum, and then maybe you find your other starter in the draft. Antowan Hallmon, FGB, F Minnesota, F Detroit, and Don Bird too. Hey man, you know it's all fun. It's about rivalries. That's what sports are about. You're not a true fan until you hate your rival more than you like your own team. That's what I always say. So I love the passion, Antoine. Stingray Kim, trade Fields plus a second for Deshaun Watson. Number one, I actually think the Texans say no. And number two, Deshaun Watson is still having legal issues. I mean, he had he had some kind of, legal update on Monday. I can't remember what the phrase is. Some court thing. He wasn't even there. There's no resolution. So. And there's another court date in April now. So it's not going to happen, man. They're not going to trade for him. And quite frankly, I don't know if another team is either. Jayden Rowley, what are the odds that the Bears trade a player or two for higher draft picks? I think it's possible. I mean, we've talked about trade candidates. Would you trade a Khalil Mack or a Robert Quinn? Those are going to fetch you a lot. I don't think they'll trade Roquan Smith, and I don't think they should. David Montgomery, maybe, but I don't know how much he can actually get you. So, yeah, I think Quinn and Mack are the names to monitor. If they don't trade those guys, then you're not going to get a lot of high draft picks based on your current roster.